I think the US midterm elections are not going to be necessarily as impactful as one might think. First of all, the Democrats did better than expected. And really, when it comes to the ability of the president to set the foreign policy and energy agenda, he has a lot of latitude. So yes, with Republicans taking control of the House, you will have potentially greater oversight over issues like the use of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, potentially export restrictions, the funding of the war in Ukraine. But those issues remain largely in the purview of the president. So again, our expectation might be more oversight, but we think the president still has a fairly free hand to execute foreign and energy policy. My concern is we could be facing a multi-winter energy crisis in Europe. I mean, part of the reason why European leaders are expressing some confidence at the moment about gas storage levels is that for the most part, Russian gas flows to Europe were fairly consistent for a significant part of the year. But if we are assuming no Russian energy imports into Europe going forward, it's going to be very, very hard for Europe to build storage. So hence our concern that if this conflict continues and there are no indications of an immediate off-ramp in this war, Europe could be facing several winters of discontent. The OPEC relationship is going to be very key for Europe getting through winter because on December 5th, the European Union's sixth package of sanctions launches. So Europe will impose an embargo of Russian seaborne oil imports into Europe. And also Germany and Poland will ban pipeline imports from Russia into those countries. So we're potentially looking at 1.5 million barrels of Russian oil that is going into Europe, which will not be going in after December. So the question is, who's going to backfill Europe? So a big ask of OPEC going forward into winter is going to be to reroute barrels from Asia to Europe. But the question is, what is going to be the scale of the Russian losses? Because it's not simply an embargo we're talking about. We're also talking about sanctions on the provision of Western services to move Russian barrels anywhere in the world. And so if those full sanctions package launches, we could be looking at potentially a multi-million barrel a day disruption. Hence all the conversation about price caps. Price caps are designed to be a mechanism to enable Russian barrels to flow to third countries. But if the price cap mechanism doesn't launch, we could again be facing a significant supply disruption. And there are questions about, can OPEC even fill that gap?
This content is based on information available at the time it was recorded and is for informational purposes only. It is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation, and no recommendations are implied. It is outside the scope of this communication to consider whether it is suitable for you and your financial objectives.